This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Turkey to fast-track parliamentary approval process in readiness to deploy troops to Libya. Turkey begins evacuation of victims following Saturday's blast in Mogadishu that left 79 dead. And Guinea-Bissau heads to the polls in a run-off vote pitting two former prime ministers. This is CGTN. Welcome to Africa Live with me, Beatrice Marshall, in Nairobi. Also coming up on the program, Egypt creates the world's largest coffee cup portrait. And South Africa beat England in the first test in centurions. Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu has warned that the Libyan conflict risks sliding into chaos and becoming the next Syria. In response to the urgent state of instability, Cavusoglu is seeking to speed up legislation to allow it to send troops to the North African country. Cavusoglu will meet with three opposition party leaders on Monday, and the government is expected to discuss the motion within the coming week. Libya's internationally recognized government of national accord in Tripoli has been struggling to fend off General Khalifa Haftar's forces, which have been supported by Russia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates and Jordan. Last month, Ankara signed two separate accords with the GNA led by Fayez al-Sarraj, one on security and military cooperation and another on maritime boundaries in the eastern Mediterranean. Well, the Speaker of Eastern-based Parliament, Aguila Saleh, together with his Cyprus counterpart Dimitris Silourous, have termed Turkey's offer as unacceptable and unwarranted meddling in the internal affairs of Libya. The two also said President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's plans will add tensions and destabilize the entire region.
We reject this agreement between the Union government and Turkey because it flaunts international maritime law and the Vienna Convention signed in 1969, which stipulates that we can cancel this agreement if it contradicts a fundamental rule of domestic law. This agreement also contradicts the terms of the Libyan constitution, which stipulates that any agreement must be approved by parliament, and this is the case throughout the world.
Well, let's get more now on this developing situation and cross over to Michal Badavid. She's in Istanbul, Turkey for us. Michal, what's leading Turkey to fast-track the parliamentary process? Libya was to make a formal request. Has this been received?
Yes, now, as you mentioned, it seems that for Turkey, it's clear that time is of the essence. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, he emphasized that he wants Turkey to prevent a chaotic situation from arising inside Libya, that it could resemble the situation in Syria. So he just wanted to emphasize how critical the situation is right now. There was also a statement made by Turkey's Defense Minister Hulusi Akar, who stated that Turkey's army is ready to send troops to Libya. He also stated that Turkey's army is ready to protect its rights and interests at home and abroad. Now, as Haftar's forces are advancing, trying to make a final push, and the fighting is intensifying, it's really clear that Turkey does not want to be late in entering there and supporting the Government of National Accord, the GNA that Turkey supports. So it's also important to understand that aside from Turkey's political stance to support the GNA, now with the Maritime Boundary Agreement, it's also very critical for Turkey to create this economic cooperation with the GNA. But in order for that to happen and to stay, it's important that the GNA remains in power, that the GNA is not defeated to Haftar's forces, so Turkey is able to actually move forward with the GNA as the legitimate power inside Libya. Beatrice?
Michal, take us through the parliamentary process in Turkey. Is Parliament expected to be fully in support of deployment, even as other countries remain opposed to Turkey's intervention in Libya?
Well, it seems that Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan is confident that it will be approved by the Turkish parliament. Now, Now, it's believed that potentially the Turkish parliament will vote on this on January 2nd. This is still not definite. But regarding the potential support from the Turkish parliament, of course, Turkey's ruling party, the Justice and Development Party known as AK Party, which is Erdogan's party at the same time, is very much in support of this motion that Turkish troops could be sent to Libya. The alliance between AK Party and the MHP, which is the Nationalist Movement Party, is also very strong, and the MHP is also very supportive of this motion. They are going to be approving potentially this motion in Parliament. However, the opposition party, the main opposition party, CHP, Republican People's Party, is very much against this, actually. The leader of this party, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, stated that Turkish stance inside Libya should be to reconcile the parties rather than to fight on the ground. So he is very openly against this. Also against this move is the E party, known as Good Party. They have also announced that they are against this move. So it seems they're split. However, with the alliance between the MHP and the AK Party, it seems that it will be able for them to have enough votes to pass this in the Turkish parliament.
All right, Michal Badavid for us there in Istanbul. Thank you for that update. Let's now rope in Yasser Hakim. He's in Cairo for us. Yasser, Egypt has called for a comprehensive deal to stop meddling in Libya as it maintains support for Khalifa Haftar's eastern forces. What is the position following Turkey's latest move? Has there been any statements coming out of Egypt?
Yes, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had mentioned the issue in Libya a couple of times in two different events, the local events, and the statements related to the Libyan developments. One of them, he spoke about that Egypt has the capability and could have intervened in Libya directly, and I think he meant military-wise, and that Egypt has the capability to do so, but it has refused to take any interference in the country, saying that the Libyan people would not accept such interference and would not forgive Egypt for interfering in their affairs. Also, the Egyptian president said that it's very important that the situation in Libya is solved by the Libyan powers, by the Libyan factions, and that it has to be solved peacefully, and that Egypt will work on this with other international mediators to try to reach a peaceful solution to the crisis in Libya, and that the Libyan unity is important to Egypt, and the Libyan security is important to Egypt. So in both situations, he made it clear that he is against direct military involvement, and that he supports a peaceful solution to the crisis. At the same time, Egypt has called for a summit with France, Greece, and Cyprus to discuss the developments with Turkey and Libya, and also this we will decide, we will know what's the next step by Egypt after that summit, which will determine how these parties will move on concerning a reaction